Hello everyone, welcome to the iMatrix University. Today's topic is going to be Social Media 101. Just going to give it a few more seconds to see if other people are going to join on. But someone who wouldn't mind just chatting, seeing if the audio is working, if you guys can hear me on your end, just give me a quick little chat. I'd appreciate that. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Without further ado, let's get started. My name is Ollie Nickapor. I am the Business Development Manager here at iMatrix, and today we're going to be discussing Social Media 101 and how we can basically help improve your guys' presence online. So a quick little brief history of iMatrix for those who aren't familiar. We are located in beautiful sunny San Diego, California. We have over 10,000 clients worldwide. The majority of them are in the United States, but we are a global company. We've been in an industry for 15 years now. We are a A+ Better Business Bureau accredited business, and we are also Google AdWords Premier Partner. We are one of only 33 Premier Partners in the United States, so we're very proud to hold that title. And then we also proudly boast over a 94% retention rate. Our whole goal here at iMatrix is to create a wonderful presence online website for you guys in hopes that it'll be the last website you ever have to purchase until the day you retire. So moving forward, here's some of the topics that we're going to be covering in today's presentation. The first would be social media simplified. Just kind of break it down. What is it? How it's effective? The power of social networking, how you can use it to the benefit of your practice, your business, evaluating program impact, how it's working for you, what you can tweak, what's working, what's not, and how to create a winning social media presence. And I'm going to go through these slides. If you have any questions, please write them down and hold them to the end. At the end of this presentation, I'm going to have an answer for you guys, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. So, dipping into the first topic, social media simplified. The majority of us are familiar with at least one, if not all of these types of social media platforms. There are more out there, plenty more, I'm sure, as you all know. But just kind of breaking down what the main ones are: Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Instagram. One that should also be on there is YouTube. What Facebook is and how they all compare. We like to use what's called in social media the donut analogy. It breaks down the major social media services and explains how they differ from each other using the example of a donut. So for example, for Facebook, I like donuts. People go on Facebook to like things, to comment on them, to share them. Twitter, I'm eating a donut, hashtag donut, what you're doing right now. Twitter is for telling people what you're doing at any given moment. Google+, I'm a Google employee who eats donuts. Google+ is kind of like Google's version of Facebook, but it's a little bit more professionally set in a business standpoint, and it's also really good for your rankings online because Google is a little narcissistic and they like their own social media platform versus other ones. LinkedIn, my skills include donut eating. This is where you can professionally highlight your skills to a little bit more of a professional audience. Pinterest, here's a donut recipe. Pinterest is kind of a good way to, I guess, again, show pictures and really dive into the details of what you're trying to explain. And Instagram, here's a vintage photo of my donut. Instagram is purely and mostly photo-based. So it's a great way to just kind of take pictures, and how you guys can relate this donut analogy is to your business, to your practice. Whatever specialty niche you guys are in, that's how you can really highlight them in all or any of these social media outlets. The next slide, we're going to be doing the power of social networking, how to optimize content strategy, social media, and SEO, which is search engine optimization, and how this builds relationships and trust. So the first is optimized content strategy. So keeping in mind that content creation is the single most effective search engine optimization tactic, you may already include SEO-friendly content on your website, your blog, or other online resources. However, if social media is not already included in your optimized content strategy, it absolutely should be. It definitely plays a part in your rankings nowadays. For those who don't know what SEO is, it stands for Search Engine Optimization, and a good way to think of that is essentially a credit score. Google gives every website a credit score, if you will, for their online presence. There's many, many different factors of what they're looking for in order for them to rank you online. The #1 goal for everybody is to be on the first page of Google search results. Hardly anybody goes past page 1. So social media nowadays is playing a role in your online ranking. So it does affect your SEO. So these little tips that we'll give you are very effective, and it's to be overall included in what you're doing with your online presence. Many social media platforms are offering more vessels of content creation and distribution than they ever have before. When they first started out, it used to be just kind of pictures, promoting yourself, your family, sharing wonderful things that you did in your life. And now it's kind of geared more towards a professional standpoint. You can highlight your business as well as highlight your personal social life. Consistent, high-quality social media content keeps prospective and current clients engaged. It's just kind of getting in their face and reminding them that you're present, you're here, you're active, and you're up to date. If a prospective client notices that you're rarely posting new content or replying to current followers, they're less inclined to engage with your business on social media platforms, and that ultimately will decrease your social traffic. And for clear reasons, you don't want that. You want to always keep your audience engaged with you, your practice, your business. It's social proof, as we call it. And just like you guys are keen to word of mouth, social media is word of mouth, but online. It's on steroids. It's reaching not just the small community around you, the people that say great things, but it's reaching those people's friends, family. So it's friends of friends. It's just expanding your network. Social media and SEO, search engine optimization. People spend more than 50% of their time online with content, with an additional 30% on social channels where content can be shared. So most people, and I'm sure you've witnessed it yourself, walk around their daily activities, whether they're at home, the office, the gym, they're constantly on their phones. And half the time, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing, they're on social media, on some sort of platform. So it's just a great way to keep up, keep ahead, and keep yourself relevant when those people are on those social media platforms. Kind of like a branding. It's reminding them who you are, your business, and why you're relevant. While many tend to overlook their social media platforms when they plan their content strategy, social media networks are a helpful way to boost your SEO by regularly posting content with strategically placed SEO-friendly keywords. So for instance, if your business is in chiropractic care, you would want to do a social media post regarding chiropractic care, having those keywords in there: chiropractor, chiropractic. Same goes with optometry, veterinarian, any type of niche you can think of. You want to include a relative post to that, as well as a brief description with that specific keyword. It just helps Google search rankings. But you also want to keep in mind, while creating the content, that the keywords should flow naturally. You don't want to just say, here is chiropractic picture. You want to use your own words, humanize it, make it more engaging. People don't go on social media looking for an educational article. They're going on there to pass the time, to get a laugh, a chuckle, see what their friends are up to. So if you can kind of engage them that way and make it a little bit more friendly and personal, you'll see much better results that way. Builds relationships and trust. You might be a big office, a small office, or even an individual. Any of these social media platforms that you show to your customers will truly help grow your industry. And what I mean by that is people will go on, again, it's the humanizing aspect, especially if you're in the healthcare industry, whether you're a doctor or any type of doctor, it's the most feared person on the planet. From the dentist to the chiropractor, the optometrist, naturally we as human beings fear going to the doctor. So anytime you can brand yourself and make yourself look more human, the more likely they are to come to you, and it increases your conversion rate when people look you up. So that's why we say social media builds relationships and trust, because if you're doing it properly, you're posting not only about your business, but also about your personal life. Why did you get into the field that you did? What do you like to do outside your office hours? Again, that human element really brings and eases their nerves and makes them more likely to trust you and to build that online relationship even before they even step foot in your office. They say, this is my go-to doctor. We share a lot of common interests, whether it be athletics, exercise, fitness, health, nutrition. You will reach an audience that can relate to you. So that's why we say it's important. Anytime you can, not only promote yourself, your business, but again, making you more human. Anything you like to do, whether you go on vacation with your family or a hike with your friends, it can never hurt. Take a picture, post it on social media, and let your audience see it. See you for who you really are. So evaluating program impact. It's not about the numbers, social channels as search engines, and social content. Connections, I apologize. So let me dive into the first one. It's not about the numbers. Though it may be surprising, social media success should not be measured by your profile's numbers. It shouldn't be measured by how many followers you have, how many likes, things like that. It really doesn't matter. Back in January 2014, Google announced that social signals such as Facebook likes, shares, Twitter's followers don't necessarily affect social rankings all too much. They are positives, but it's not something that's going to make or break your business or make or break your presence online. It's just there to help build trust and to hopefully increase your conversion rate. Why does Google do this? Google doesn't use these signals because they don't have a high confidence in the meaning of those signals. So what that means is you can easily get a bunch of likes on your Facebook page, whether it be you asking your friends, your family, or even there are certain companies you can pay to get a whole bunch of likes. Google recognizes that, so they don't put a lot of weight and value behind it. What they rather just see is more engagement. How often are you posting? Are you staying relevant? The average person will do about 3 to 5 posts a week, and that's typically what Google wants to see. You don't have to go overkill and post every day or several times a day. In fact, that's something that Google does not recommend. The problem is with social media, you have to walk a fine line. You want to stay relevant and do a certain amount of posts per week, per month, but you don't want to do overkill. What happens when you do too many posts, you start to over-inundate your followers' news feeds, and sometimes people can get annoyed, and what will ultimately happen is that they could stop following you or they can block your posts. It happens a lot. People will be like, well, this office is posting several times a day. It's getting annoying. I'm constantly seeing their feeds. It's not really relevant. It's not helpful. So I'm just going to stop following these people. That's the last thing you want. So you want to do certain engagement. We recommend about 3 to 5 times a week, almost every other day. Again, you don't have to do it every day. And that's typically the best numbers that you'll see, and you'll get the best results out of it. You can keep in mind likes and followers they're not necessarily indicators of success, but they're correlations of helping you improve your online presence and your trust within your community. Social channels as search engines. So instead of focusing on the amount of followers or likes you're getting on your profiles, it's more important to turn your attention to the way people are using social media. Today, people commonly use social media platforms as search engines. So for instance, Twitter gets more than 19 billion searches per month, while Facebook gets more than 1 billion searches per day. So people used to go to Google, Yahoo, Bing, and type their questions. Now Google is realizing there's been a slight shift. People are still going to Google and Yahoo and Bing and typing in their questions, but now people are starting to go to social media. They're starting to go to Facebook. They're starting to ask their friends and relatives for their opinions. So that's why it's effective and how you can help stay relevant and use that to your advantage. So that's why we say whenever you make a post, to add a specific keyword and a related post to what your business is. So that way, just in the off chance if somebody searches for that keyword, that you stay relevant and show up hopefully in that social media context. The third would be social connections. The content you post on social media platforms does not solely reach your followers or fans. It goes pretty much beyond that. So this is going back to what I said, social media is word of mouth on steroids online. You can reach a vast amount of audience that you would have even never imagined reaching in the first place. So give you an example. Average Facebook user has about 400 to 500 followers. Now, if that person is following you on social media and you make a post and they like your post, now what happens is those followers of them, those 400 to 500 followers, will receive in their news feed that so-and-so liked this post. And again, if it's social proof. Not everybody's going to go and see why they liked your post, but it's just stemming curiosity. So if somebody sees, hey, John Doe liked Dr. Smith's post, I really respect John Doe, let me go see what this post is about, who this doctor is about, because obviously I hold them in high standard. If they like this doctor and respect them, then I need to research and look into them and possibly see, is this the right doctor for me? So that's how it's so effective, because social connections, it's fully interconnected. Friends, friends of friends, family members, up to 6 degrees of separation. It's all interconnected within social media, so that's why it's so important to stay up to date and relevant. So you're not only reaching your fan base, but you're reaching your fans' friends of friends of friends base as well. The next is how to create a winning social media presence. We'll go over select your platforms, post with your audience in mind, and the famous 80-20 rule. So, select your platforms. As the social media simplified slide showed earlier, there are several mainstream social media services and many others out there. One that we forgot to mention and is very, very important is YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, second only to Google. And a few years back, Google realized they're getting very, very big, almost becoming a competitor. So what they did is they went and bought YouTube out. So YouTube is interlinked with Google. Now, why is that important? Again, going back to Google being a little bit narcissistic, they love themselves. And now that YouTube is part of Google, whenever you use it, it just gives you a little bit of extra brownie points in Google's eyes. Plus, it's very relative, and YouTube is for posting videos. Going back to that donut analogy, it would be, here's a video of me eating this donut. And how this is very effective is we live, unfortunately, in somewhat of a lazy, impatient generation. Most people, for better or for worse, they don't want to read nowadays. They just don't want to spend time. ADHD, I believe is the term. They just want information as fast as possible, as much as possible, condensed into preferably a short video. So this is very effective. If you can do that, you're probably going to gain more attention than to write a lengthy article. Again, most people don't want to read, so that's why you have to select which platform works best for you. The main three are Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. But also keep in mind, like I mentioned, throw YouTube in there, those top four. And if you can balance those, if not all, you want to at the very least do one of those. So select the platform that's best for you. If you can, we highly advise doing all of them, and then create a professional business platform with branding, keeping all your logos and coloring similar for your audience. When deciding what profiles to add to your business marketing, consider the purpose and desired content for each platform. Services that rely heavily on visual content, such as Instagram or Pinterest, might not be well suited for a business that cannot supply photo content. You should also know how much time you have available to dedicate to social media management. A lot of times, if you don't have the time to do it yourself, you can delegate it to a staff member, office manager, or certain companies such as iMatrix. We can fully manage it for you. It's just always best to see who is specific in your industry. You don't want a company who has no idea about your industry doing social media posts for you. Those posts are not going to be related. You're not going to gain the traction with your audience, and you're probably not going to see any good effect out of it. It's better to take a few profiles and do them well than to try to manage multiple profiles across many, many different applications. So that's why I mentioned selecting a platform, or how many platforms you or your staff might be able to handle is a conversation you guys should have internally. But at the very least, you need to get the ball rolling if you don't already have one of these social media platforms to create one. And finally, when considering which services have the most users and impacts on your website's SEO, is the one to consider would be those same main ones: Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and YouTube. Now again, like I mentioned, Google being narcissistic, you kind of get a little bit more brownie points by using their social media platforms, and the two main ones would be Google+ and YouTube. Not to say Facebook or Twitter and the rest aren't effective for your business. It just weighs a little bit heavier on Google's eyes, and you always want to keep Google happy. We in the online marketing industry, we joke and we call Google the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and you never want to upset that gorilla. You just want to do whatever you can to make it happy and keep them on your side. So the next is going to be what's called the 80-20 rule. So what do we mean by that? When developing a plan of what to post on social media, the 80-20 rule suggests that 80% of what you post should be shareable, interesting, and non-self-serving posts, while the other 20% should be about your business. And why we say this again, 80% should be relatively fun, about you, about what you do, the humanizing aspect, that human element that, again, makes you not look like a scary doctor, but more like a human being, what you like to do on the outside, keeps people relatively interested in you. And then the other 20% is where you would highlight your business. Any promotions you're offering, maybe a tour of your office, pictures, staff members, things like that. Again, people can get a little bit weary when all you post, if 100% of your post is about your business, then you kind of lose the audience attention span. But then again, if you post something, anything, any relatively funny article or a cartoon, a meme, a nice puppy, something that draws people's attentions, you're more likely to keep them as a follower and get more engagement that way. Remember, entertain and educate first, sell your services second. That is the best recipe for an effective, truly effective social media platform. So 80s, the others focus on entertaining. That 80%, offer a variety of content. That can include quotes, news links, videos, photos, memes, charts, interactive questions, polls. Make it engaging for your followers, not just an article or something. Get creative with it. Ask a question. You can post a picture of a puppy and ask a question. How many of you would love to adopt this puppy? Anything to get the conversation starting. The more conversations you get started, the more it shows up on your news feeds and then your friends' news feeds, and then hopefully you get a whole big audience engaged just in one little post. And again, the 20 is self-promotions. So anything you want, whether your business is running a promotion or you want to highlight your new office member, your new instrument, anything you want, that's where you utilize and capitalize on that extra 20%. So again, one thing I can tell you from this entire slide to remember is entertain and educate your audience first, sell your services second. And that way you'll see much better results. How to be consistent and engage with your followers. Being consistently active on your social media platforms will make prospective and current clients alike perceive you as being accessible, reliable, and sets you up as an expert in your field. So if somebody really likes, say, Facebook, and they love posting every day, and they see two different doctors down the street, one who focuses on his business, but will both focus on their business, but one who does social media, Facebook, and one who does not. They're more likely to go to that doctor who does Facebook because they're so into it themselves that they see, wow, this doctor is also into it. He or she relates to me a lot more than the other doctor down the street who's not even anywhere found on social media. And again, being that consistent will definitely help, again, give you credibility. People aren't just going to say, hey, this guy does a post once a month. He's just doing it, just because they tell him. If you're actively doing it, like we mentioned, 3 to 5 times a week, being consistent will give you more and more credibility with social media, as well as it just increases your amount of followers, the amount of likes, the amount of other people following those followers. So it's always good to be consistent, but at the very same time, not overly consistent. The golden rule of thumb, 3 to 5 posts per week. Nothing more, nothing less. Engage with your followers. So don't just post something like we mentioned and hope that somebody witnesses it or sees it or likes it. Engage with them. Ask them questions. If somebody asks a question or comments on your post, this is a great opportunity for you to reply, whether it be thanking them for their comment or responding to their question. When they see that, this is an actual, the doctor or the staff, human being responding and replying to me. It's not an automated machine. So again, it just builds more trust with your followers and it gets them more engaged. They realize, hey, this doctor constantly responds, so I'm going to be more active on his social media outlets versus another person's. So again, if a client comments, asks questions, etc., engage with them. This demonstrates that you care about their feedback. And then it also encourages other clients to interact with you as well. And this ultimately boosts your social activity. So anytime you can, again, if you don't have the time to do this yourself, we highly recommend delegating this to an office manager or somebody in your staff who can at least check your posts once a day. You don't have to check it every hour, every minute of the day. Maybe towards the end of the day, go and see what your followers are saying and reply to them. It's just very, very personal that way. And again, they're going to appreciate you for doing that. Whenever you just kind of post something, you don't show interaction, it can be a little offensive to the client. So you never want to make them feel that you're not paying attention to them, you don't care about their posts or their questions. So always just keep a good eye. If not, at the end of the day, try to dedicate at least one administrative day to checking up on your social media and following up on it. I have particular clients who save that for Sundays. They're busy during the week, as we all are, so they'll dedicate one day out of the week on Sunday to go to their social media and respond and reply to any and all comments. And that's a great little tip I can give for you guys as well. So with that being said, that's pretty much social media 101 in a nutshell. It is kind of a little bit fast, but I wanted to let you guys know if you have any questions, you can call any one of us here at iMatrix. We make the number easy. It's 1-800-iMatrix, but as you see on the screen, the numbers are laid out there. And what we offer here is a free website evaluation, basically a webinar. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is call and ask any one of our reps for a free evaluation. What we do, we go through your website, your presence, what you're doing online, social media-wise, as well as what are some of your competitors doing in the area. What are people around you in a geo-targeted location doing so that you can maybe target your strategy and make it a little bit more effective. Social media can be a little bit confusing. Some people find it annoying, but it is very, very important. It is very, very relative, and whether you like it or not, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. If anything, Google is placing more emphasis and more importance on social media and being active on it. So again, don't be overwhelmed. Just give us a call, or any questions you have, we'll be happy to help. Just let us know. But most importantly, have fun with it. This is a great opportunity, again, to humanize yourself and to interact with your base, with your clients, with your friends, without coming off as a scary physician or a doctor. So what I'll do, I'll open it up to any questions you guys might have. And these are some of the resource links for you guys, just to show. But let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be happy to answer, whether it be on social media or online presence. We're here to help. The more that you do, the more you're interactive, the more you put into it, the more you'll get out. That's what we say in the industry. No questions? Okay, I see one here. Okay, I see some questions here. Do you consider educational items, backpack safety, kids and chiropractic, etc., fun for promoting your own business? Absolutely. Educational items such as that, it can't hurt, and it's fun for promoting your own business while educating your base. That is a very, very effective type of post. Whenever you can have fun with your post as well as interacting with your audience and engaging and educating them at the same time, that's a great little tip you can do. And a great way you could do is go with the seasons, back to school, fall tips, things like that. That's a great way to kind of stay relative of what's going on, current events, as well as, you know, making it fun and lighthearted and educating them at the same time. The next question is, how important is it to utilize ads? When it comes to social media, if you have the budget for it, we always say tinker around with it, try it. It's not necessarily too important. The problem with ads is you pay for it, and then once you run out, the ad runs out. We recommend doing a nice quality post, which of course, one, it's free, and two, it's long lasting. Not to say you shouldn't do an ad, but ads are kind of looked at because they have to say that it's an advertisement. People realize that this is something that somebody paid for, so they can be a little less inclined to pay attention to the post. But by no means, if you have the budget, definitely worth trying, but it's not as important as a nice quality regular post. And to be doing them the 3 to 5 times per week, you'll see more benefits than just to run ads, say, on a daily basis or once a week. And specifically on Facebook, yeah. Facebook, it's a good way. If you don't have a lot of followers, then maybe tinker around with trying an ad, because an ad just pops your boosts your post to the top of their news feeds. And maybe that's a good thing to try while you're building your base. And ultimately the goal is once you get enough followers, enough people liking your things, you don't need to focus on the ads because you're going to be at the top of their news feeds automatically. When people are engaging with you, when people are liking your stuff, your posts, that's when you're going to automatically just rise to the top without having to pay for the ads. Let's see. Any other questions you might have? And if you missed part of this interview, or I'm sorry, this presentation, it's recorded and it will be broadcasted on our YouTube channel. All of our educational webinars are from our iMatrix University. You just go to iMatrix.com, and then at the very top you'll see our YouTube logo. You go click on that and you'll see a whole wealth of library of information, from webinars to videos to any topic you can possibly think of. So we love to educate people here. But again, if you like, don't be shy, pick up the phone, give us a call, and we'd be happy to talk to you and kind of just guide you, again, all for free, educational, what the best practices are online. But if nobody has questions, I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for attending. And again, don't be shy, give us a call here at iMatrix, and we'd be happy to build a wonderful and optimized online platform, especially with your social media.